Olá, 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 olá a todos. Olá a todos. Sejam todos bem-vindos a mais um episódio Acordar para a Realidade. Hoje vamos reagir a mais umas compilações TikToks. Não se esqueçam de fazer a subscrição, fazer o gosto, ajuda no algoritmo. É só isso, pá. Se vocês gostarem, se não gostarem, é cagar, tá bem? Um abraço, até amanhã. E pronto, é isto. Temos mais conteúdo também na Twitch e na Kick. rSKELETON, podem aparecer lá, tá bem? Portanto, apareçam. Fica à vossa espera e depois falamos. Ok? Vamos então partir para este vídeo. Vai ser top. Eu, entretanto, ainda não organizei isto aqui para estar a editar as coisas, portanto, vamos ao vídeo, ok?
We can now confirm that 3 of the children that were led into this sports arena turned into a mass child inoculation or euthanasia center have succumbed to the jab. They are dead. 2 boys, 1 girl, being reported by you, by Ellen Hennessy there in Australia. Catch us up to speed here and give us the real reality, what is really happening in Australia, because Australia is warning, this is going to happen to you next. America, beware. What's going on?
Absolute proof that there's pictures of interdimensional beings. A scientist named Daniel Neems has found a way to take pictures of beings from other dimensions. Yeah, he knows how to take pictures from other dimensions. Neems has been working on this since he was 14 years old, and he's taken a lot of pictures, baby. Some of these things are awesome, while others look freaky. This is amazing. This guy's got hundreds of pictures from other dimensions. This one looks like some kind of demon. Not that demon. They definitely look humanoid, but still very different from us. His pictures are amazing. Even this one, which is probably just a Catholic priest stalking a little kid. And there's even more, baby. The colors that come through these pictures are actually amazing, but some of these things are outright scary. I'm wondering how many are demons and how many are other life forms. This is one of the greatest discoveries in the history of Earth since cheddar cheese, baby.
Que tecnologia é aquela? Tem que ver que tecnologia é aquela.
This is great stuff.
Seres bidimensionais, multidimensionais.
UFOs in the sky
As luzes outra vez.
overhead.
É sempre intrigante, velho, porque imaginem, isto só acontece nos Estados Unidos. Nos Estados Unidos é onde existe o maior número de sightings de UFOs e é maioritariamente lá. Porquê que será? Porque se calhar tem tecnologia lá, não é? Um único cogumelo. Espera aí. Existe um tipo de cogumelo que comer só uma vez é o suficiente para alimentar uma pessoa até ao fim da sua vida. Era incrível. Isto era um uau. Mas eu gosto de comer.
Do you know of there's a very
UFO, OVNI, objeto voador não identificado. Isto não quer dizer que exista realmente vida noutro espaço ou que encontraram outra vida, estão a perceber? O pessoal às vezes tem maneira a distorcer este tipo de informação, a verdade é essa.
famous painting that shows what appears to be men in crafts flying through the sky in the background of an ancient painting? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do. I actually have a page. One of the first pages I ever put on my website is like a bunch of these, because throughout history there are these indications of ships, of craft.
But
like-
you know what the one I'm talking about?
Yes.
It's like, and
Yes.
it's that's the shape of it. It's also like a plate turned on its side, and then there's a person inside
Yes.
of it,
yeah, man. It's
and it's
exciting.
flying through.
Isto é verdade, vocês nunca se questionaram relativamente às imagens que eles faziam antigamente, às gravuras que foram encontradas, os hieroglifos, que foram encontrados e tudo também. Como é que aquilo foi feito? Em que é que eles se basearam para fazer aliens nos desenhos? E nestes desenhos antigos haviam também objetos no céu. Porquê é que eles metiam objetos no céu? Percebem? Existe tanta coisa que não tem explicação. Porque, por exemplo, nós temos hoje em dia os aliens, né? Nós conhecemos os aliens e aquilo que nós fechamos os olhos e nos falam em aliens, nós temos uma ideia já criada. Mas quem é que nos passou essa ideia? Porquê que os aliens têm que ser assim? Não é? Tal e qual como, por exemplo, depois a Bíblia foi escrita por pessoas Quem é que nos diz a nós que a verdadeira história da Bíblia nunca foi contada porque foi sempre escrita e foram escrevendo outra vez a Bíblia? Como quem diz a Bíblia diz também uma coisa que é o Satan's Bible. Vocês, se não o conhecem, também podem ir ver. O Satan's Bible também já foi escrita, tem as mesmas passagens que a Bíblia. Pá, muita coisa engraçada. No entanto, é o quê?
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen,
Isto é tão estranho.
it's nice to know why it didn't happen. So, in the future, if we want to keep doing something, we need to know why something stopped in the past that we wanted to keep it going.
And I am Uncle Coney tonight.
Coney.
Let's talk about this, because this is fascinating. I remember very clearly, I think anybody who was alive at the time does, I remember my parents waking me up and we went down and we watched you guys land on the moon,
No,
which
you
was...
didn't. No, you didn't.
What?
Because there wasn't any television. There wasn't anybody taking a picture. You watched animation. See, you associated what you saw with...
And we went down and we watched you guys land on the moon,
No,
which
you didn't.
was...
No, you didn't.
What?
Because there wasn't any television. There wasn't anybody taking a picture. You watched animation. See, you associated what you saw with...
I have very hazy memories.
Yeah, I know.
Well, no, but what we saw was we all were gathered around the old curved top radio
me
and listened.
talking about, you know, how many feet we were going to the left and right, and then I said, contact light, engine stop.
was
And a few other
exciting.
things, and then Neil said, Houston, Tranquility Base, the Eagle has landed.
This was
Man, how about that?
that was very exciting.
Not a bad line.
Yeah. This was no, but what we saw was we all were gathered around the old curved top radio
me
and listened.
talking about, you know, how many feet we were going to the left and right, and then I said, contact light, engine stop.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
Right. We've been unable to.
Há sempre coisas que acrescentam sempre mais às teorias e cada vez fica mais estranho ainda. Porquê que haveria aquele gajo ter dito aquilo? Que já tivemos a tecnologia que foi destruída? Eu não sei, mas... Por que raio? Eu duvido muito que tenha sido destruída se realmente tivessem aquela tecnologia, sou-vos muito sincero.
To track it down. I mean, we don't know where this telemetry data ended up, and we don't know what path it may have taken. So, unfortunately, I'm afraid I can't really give you much of a clue as to where this data ended up and whether it still exists or not.
I haven't seen anything that indicates the telemetry data is even in existence, and as I said, even if we had it, we don't have the machines to play it back.
But your own research has shown the telemetry data is missing.
That's right.
How come nobody is talking about this? And I honestly just feel sorry for anyone who's going to scroll past this video. It seems like every time you try to bring up giants to someone, they look at you like you're crazy until you actually whip out some real facts.
A verdade é que têm sido, eu acho que já vimos até nos vídeos e tudo, já vimos em vídeos atrás, para quem quiser ir ver ainda temos mais episódios para trás, portanto podem ir rever todos os episódios, e nós já vimos esqueletos enormes, não são naturais, não é daquilo que nós estamos habituados, não são naturais, pegadas feitas em rochas enormes, literalmente pegadas com formato de pé enormes, e não sei. A acreditar no quê, não é? Não sei.
Well,
nós sabemos aquilo que nos contaram e nos transmitiram passados estes anos todos.
Let's whip out the facts. First of all, we got these ginormous stairs. These ant-sized creatures you see right here are actual humans. So if giants weren't real at one point, how in the world did they build this, and why would they build this? Like what, they just took the time to build some giant stairs just for laughs and giggles? On to the next one. There is plenty of ancient statues of giants just like these ones. And notice what my boy got in his hand right here. That is not your everyday average household kitten. Look at that mane on him. That is a full-on lion. And everyone knows how big the average male lion is. This is your average everyday lion next to an average sized human. He's making a lion look like a chew toy. And that's not the only giant statue they got either. Hey, I'm running out of time and I still got so much more evidence. So make sure to blow this video up, follow me, like, comment, and share this video with as many people as possible for part 2.
The moon has an odd orbit, which means that the same side of the moon is always facing Earth.
Even stranger still, during an eclipse, the moon disk is perfectly hovering the disk of our sun. Not more or not less eclipse the sun, but to perfectly eclipse the sun. In that orbit and that size, the odds are a zillion to 1, which suggests that our moon is actually in an artificial orbit around our planet.
Vamos para o outro já? Bora. Fazer um episódio maiorzinho. Bora. Dark Comp TV. Esta notícia já tínhamos visto. Toda a gente chegou à conclusão que isto era falso. Ok?
29 humans in the lab. And they did it by shooting what he called metal bullets. I didn't know there was any other kind. The scariest part is that lab workers deactivated 2 of the robots, took apart the 3rd. But the 4th robot began restoring itself and somehow connected to an orbiting satellite to download information about how to rebuild itself even more strongly than before.
What the fuck is this? It's that Will Smith movie, Robots Inc. all over again.
There's also the reptilian conspiracy, most famously brought to the public attention by
Também
the
tem-se
British
andado a falar muito
conspiracy
nisto.
theorist
Para quem
David
conhece a
Icke.
teoria.
It's become one of the most infamous
Os
and popular
reptilianos.
conspiracy theories ever, sparking numerous parodies and commentaries in the media and TV shows. To put it simply, Icke believes that an interdimensional race of reptilian entities known as Archons have hijacked the Earth and are stopping humanity from realizing our true potential. He has argued that these Archons are the same beings mentioned in many Gnostic texts that have identified themselves as demons and rulers of the 7 planets in various traditions, mostly having the ultimate goal of preventing souls from leaving the material realm. He claims that because of this, they have gone by many names throughout history, including the Anunnaki from Sumerian myth and the Watchers and Nephilim from the Book of Enoch. He argues that human sacrifice to the gods in the ancient world was actually for the reptilians' benefit, especially the sacrifice of children, because he tells us that at the moment of death by sacrifice, a form of adrenaline surges through the body, accumulating at the base of the brain, and is apparently more potent in children, something that is today reminiscent of adrenochrome. Bringing it more into the modern day, he claims that a genetically modified human Archon hybrid race of shape-shifting reptilians, known as the Babylonian Brotherhood, or the Illuminati or Freemasons to us today, manipulate global events to keep humans in constant fear, so that the Archons can feed off of the negative energy that this creates. Now, he has also claimed that the members of this secret elite are descended from reptilians coming from the Draco constellation. He stated that the reptilians come not only from another planet, but also another dimension, the lower level of the 4th dimension, which he calls the astral plane, the one nearest to the... As of 2003, when his books originally brought this theory out, he said that the reptilian bloodlines include all American presidents, 3 British and 2 Canadian prime ministers, several Sumerian kings and Egyptian pharaohs, and a whole bunch of celebrities. Remember when that article went viral about how Justin Bieber supposedly turned into a giant reptile in front of everyone? Some of the most prominent bloodlines are said to include the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, various wealthy
Rockefeller que estava também presente no Titanic. Ou estaria, mas de repente não foi.
British royal family. In fact, he said in numerous interviews that he saw former British Prime Minister Ted Heath's eyes turn entirely jet black while the 2 men waited for a Sky News interview in 1989. Ultimately, the global elite make up the top of the pyramid for the reptilians in modern day.
The Great Red Spot on Jupiter, that's about 2 times as big as Earth. And Saturn is about 9 times wider than Earth. Saturn's rings are so large that a few of the fragments within them are as large as mountains.
Oh.
But that's nothing compared to our sun. Just remember, this is Earth. And this is Earth from the moon. This is Earth from Mars. Here's Earth from just behind Saturn's rings. And here's Earth from just beyond Neptune, 4 billion miles away.
Damn.
But a billion's a big number, so let's put that in perspective. 1 million seconds equals about 11 and a half days, whereas 1 billion seconds equals over 31 years.
Absolute proof that Mars has pyramids and lots of other strange stuff, baby.
Não sei o que é este
In the
gajo.
books after the Martian apocalypse and ancient aliens on Mars, the pyramids of Mars are investigated. And you know what? They found other stuff too. Here's a Martian pyramid. Here's a Martian pyramid. Here's a Martian pyramid. Don't believe these books? Well, other people have figured it out too, baby. This award-winning news article has found all sorts of structures on Mars. Not to mention, NASA admits there's structures on Mars. Structures like another
Estas
sphinx.
são coisas que eu não sabia.
One type of structure. Another type of structure. A dancing guy. A lizard. And a helmet. Why would you need a helmet on Mars unless there's somebody already there, baby? Here's another
Gajo é engraçado.
guy hanging out on a rock on Mars. Not to mention the human face on Mars, and that this could be Mars too. There's some real sneaky stuff going on with Mars. You know it, baby.
If technology never existed, and a UFO came from outer space and landed on Earth in front of you, and somebody stepped out and told you they had technology to share with you, how would you let the generations after you know about these people? Would you carve it into a wall?
Tech Canada has developed a stealth material, quantum stealth. As long as you hide behind it, no one can see you. It is as thin as a piece of paper. It can bend. It is made of double convex lens. When the lenses overlap in a certain way, they can see the light refracted from various angles to form the light at angles. Objects of any color and shape can be invisible behind. It is not only invisible to people, it can escape the tracking of thermal and ultraviolet imagers, make it into a shield or camouflage wall to avoid the enemy's detection perfectly. What do you want to do with such powerful material?
The M87 galaxy lies 55 million light-years away in the constellation Virgo. The supermassive black hole at the center of it is a monster 6.5 billion times as massive as the Sun. On April 10th, 2019, the EHT team released the first-ever image of a black hole, thus revealing a bright ring-like structure with a dark central region, the black hole's shadow.
I used to think we were living in a simulation. Then I talked to some colleagues.
Ui, o Tyrese a dizer isto? Espera, isto é interessante.
The black hole's shadow.
I used to think we were living in a simulation. Then I talked to some colleagues, did some more reading, and now I feel a little better that we're probably not. The argument for it was, you get a real universe, and then people in there get really smart, and they program computers, and they create worlds. And the people in that world don't know that they're fake, right? And then they evolve, and they develop computers, and they create a world, and they create a world. And this goes all the way down. And so there's the real world and all the worlds that can create worlds, except the last one, which is still working on it. Eventually, they'll get there. All right, throw a dart. Chances are you're going to hit a world that's simulated. That's us. But we don't know how to make an actual simulated world where everybody thinks it's real. So either we're the last of those worlds that's still working on it, or we're the first one, which is actually real. I'm good.
No one knows who built Borobudur. You walk up and you get to the top, and there's these small Buddhas sitting in these small stupas that look like flying saucers. And there are also keystone cuts. They're an unusual way of holding blocks of stone together. Temples in Egypt also have these keystone cuts. A historical schism that's really going on here. And it has to do with the keystone cuts, but also other things too, such as cranial deformation. Like keystone cuts, is something that occurs in very diverse places all over the world. So why is it that the mainstream archaeologists and historians don't want to talk about cranial deformation? Well, here's why. Then you would have to somehow relate all of these cone heads with their elongated skulls from all of these places from around the world, and you would have to relate them to each other. And that is what mainstream historians do not want to do.
And in a moment, we'll see something suddenly appear, almost literally out of nowhere.
If we look at this event more closely, it leaves a trail or a wake behind it, and it happens very quickly. It's very unusual.
Também não dá para
In
ver
this
onde é que está a ser
particular
gravado.
map, we see Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands, and I will now overlay one of the frames of the video. See the object appearing and moving left to right. In 1/2 second, this object moves 340 miles, which is a speed of 680 miles per second. This object moves as fast as a bolt of lightning. There are no thunderstorms in the area. It is unlike any natural phenomenon that's known. And this object has never been mentioned by NASA or any...
Okay, Zoe, favorite.
What is your favorite thing about space?
Going there. Going there.
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question.
Nós já tínhamos visto.
That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen,
Mas ouvir isto outra vez
it's nice to know why it didn't happen. So in the future, if we want to keep doing something, we need to know why something stopped in the past that we wanted to keep it going.
Manos, é muito, muito estranho relativamente a todas estas teorias, até estas pessoas que vão falando. Aquele ali, salvo erro, eu não me estava a lembrar de quem é que era. Eu sei que ele é um astronauta, não é o Neil Armstrong, mas é outro astronauta. Deixa-me ver aqui uma coisa, só para fazer aqui uma pesquisa. Fazer aqui uma pesquisa muito rápida. Buzz Aldrin. Buzz Aldrin. O Buzz Aldrin, ao que parece, tem andado a revelar muita coisa relativamente às suas viagens, que não aconteceram, supostamente. Mas vamos só ficar sempre na expectativa por enquanto. No entanto, há que manter sempre a mente aberta, ouvir várias opiniões e teorias para saber realmente. Há teorias que são totalmente descabidas, ok? Não têm lógica nenhuma. Outras que até fazem algum sentido, no entanto, são teorias até serem provadas em contrário. Ou mesmo provadas que são verdade. Existem muitas teorias que hoje em dia já foram provadas realidade. Eles vão continuando a revelar algumas com o passar do tempo. Portanto, vamos ver com o passar dos anos o que é que vai acontecer. Tenho mais uns vídeos para a gente começar aí a ver, que é relativamente a pessoas e artistas a fazerem muitas coisas para o diabo nos seus vídeos e comportamentos alguns inconstantes nas celebridades. Fica para o próximo vídeo, um grande abraço e já sabem, acordem para a realidade. Até amanhã.